Hello, welcome back to the Court of Swords. It's time to kill the Necromancer King. Adam, what do we roll? What do we roll to kill the Necromancer King?
Cool. Well, he kills you all, and you're
Fuck.
dead. Good
All
show.
right.
Thanks
Well, that's
for
it.
coming.
We'll see you next time on Court of Swords. That's it.
Yeah, we're doing these micro sessions now. 30-second D&D. It's like the new cool thing. You don't even roll. You die instantly.
Yeah.
It's all the bullshit cut out of the way.
Exactly. Two apologies. One, I've got people working on the yard, so you might hear some random lawnmowers and stuff. And two, Adam's webcam is going to freeze from now and then, every once in a while.
Yeah.
Now and on, I guess that works too. Now and then also.
Sure. Those are words.
Yeah. He's got some internet issues, but luckily he can be on Skype. It just doesn't send a stable camera. But it looks good because Cinnamon Toast Ken told him to use his camera last week.
Yeah,
good.
Cinnamon Toast Ken looked so great last time. I was like, no, fuck that shit. You're not allowed to look better than me.
Yeah,
fuck that right out the gate.
I'm the alternate costume. You gotta look better.
I need to be the cutest person on stream.
The shitty thing is, at least for me, is now after seeing that, I'm like, man, I should get everyone cameras like that. And then I'm like, man, those cameras are like $2,000 to $4,000. I shouldn't do that.
Yeah, the only reason that I could do it was because I have a Sony. I have an A7S that I used to use for like stills and vlogging and stuff that I've replaced since, and it was just kicking around. And I had an old lens that I could use, so it wasn't like, yeah, I could just throw it on there and be done with it. But
that's the other thing too. I think me and Ann have had this discussion. We're not sure how good that is for the camera to just always be on like that. Like I'm really wary of if it's gonna just destroy the chip.
It really depends. Yeah, it really depends on the body. Like older DSLRs that are not designed for video, definitely a bad idea. Like you can definitely wreck a sensor. But the A7S is a video camera as much as it is a photo camera. So it's like it's okay. But yeah, I think that's what comes up a lot when people are like, oh, I should totally use this like Canon, this like digital Rebel I've got kicking around from a few years ago. I'm like, cool, it's gonna melt, but do what you gotta do, I guess.
Yeah, it just seems like it's too much.
Yeah, I don't know what the difference is between like I'm not knowledgeable enough about the inner workings of DSLR cameras to know. It's like sometimes if they have a sensor, like the sensor can get burned out if you leave it on.
Right.
But that's only for, like you're saying, that those cameras, the ones that you guys are using now, are designed for video, so they're designed to be like left on for long periods of time.
Yeah.
But older ones are not. So.
Like the one I got, it's the GH4, and sometimes I don't even turn it off. It just stays on, and I come back in the next day and sit down and keep going. It's been like that for months. But it's been okay.
Wait, so the camera is turned off right now, but it's still going?
No, that I don't turn it off.
Inverse, he doesn't turn it off.
Okay. You're using the Lumix, the Panasonic Lumix?
Yeah.
That's
GH4.
only $1,500. That's
yeah, not counting lenses.
Yeah.
I was gonna say it's the lens, right? Like the camera that I'm using is you could get one used for whatever, like $2,000. But the lens is like $1,000, and that's what makes it look good. Is not the body so much; it's the glass. Yeah. And that's true of photography in general. You buy good lenses, and then you just swap the body out as they get better.
Wow, that does 4K. I didn't even realize that. 4K at 30 for $2,200 with some lens on it with a bunch of numbers in front of it. I don't know enough about photography.
And that's the thing is usually kit lenses suck real bad. Like usually they're like whatever the easiest, crappiest trash they can put together and throw on the body for the most part. So like, yeah, you kind of have to know what focal length you want, and getting a prime lens is a lot better than getting a zoom, because obviously you're never going to use it to zoom in. Yeah. Camera stuff.
Yeah, Dan, tell me about your $90 camera webcam that just works great and never fails at all. Or are you on an actual Canon? I don't know if you're on a webcam or a Canon. What are you on?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm on a Sony camcorder.
Oh, you're on a camcorder. Okay, gotcha. Mm-hmm. I think everyone's then. No one here has a webcam then, so that's good. We're all using actual cameras, which is nice. It's probably why all the Skype feeds look good, but I don't know why we're talking about this. Did anyone go see Dunkirk over the weekend? Was I the only person?
I didn't
see it.
Heard it's great, but
man, what a fucking movie that's a goddamn movie. It's just the perfect. It's great. If you like Saving Private Ryan, it's the action from Saving Private Ryan for an hour and 47 minutes, just nonstop.
Yeah, Somebody that was a review that I read where they were like, it's like Christopher Nolan was like, what if the beginning of Saving Private Ryan was the whole movie?
Yeah.
Or like it's like Fury Road, but for World War II. It's just one long action sequence.
It starts out and you're like, oh, this is okay. This is kind of peaceful. There's no action. It's just a bunch of guys walking in the middle of a road. Oh, there's some flyers that the Nazis are dropping saying that you're surrounded. Okay, that guy's gonna use it for some toilet paper, and there's some gunshots. Okay, the movie begins. It's just like that for the next hour and a half, and just he does the same thing that he's done in some of his other movies with the music, where the tempo of the music equates to the intensity of the scene.
Ooh, can we talk about
So
Baby
good.
Driver? Vis-a-vis
I still haven't
that
seen
shit?
that yet.
Oh man, so Baby Driver. Has anybody else seen that movie yet?
I think you're the only one.
So it's a great movie. It's very cool. Edgar Wright did it. Lots of cool stuff about it. Very very reminiscent of like kind of 70s or 60s heist movies. But
Yeah.
the soundtrack is so integral to the movie that there are moments in like gunfights where the shots all link up with like the snare hits on the drum. Or like, and it's so seamless through the whole movie. And they do that a ton of times. Like there's a car crash that hits right on the like crescendo of a song. It's really really good. They did an amazing job. It's
really good.
it's a super cool like movie. It's a like I would say it's borderline like a musical because the music is so integral to the movie.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
It's a
I've been wanting to.
better musical than La La Land for sure.
I really like La La Land though. I don't. Did anyone else see that? It's just me and Adam. I think we're only moviegoers here. Man, just nothing.
People just don't appreciate the cinema these days.
You guys seen Lord of the Rings? I've been watching that. That's a pretty good one. If you haven't seen it yet,
Hell yeah.
it's a good
Watch
movie.
the extended version.
That's what I'm watching. Yeah, I didn't realize
12
that the
hours
first, and maybe they do this for all of them, but for Fellowship of the Ring, it's the first Blu-ray is only half of the movie because it's so fucking long. Like it's a goddamn Blu-ray, and it's like, nope, this is 380 or 210 minutes or something. You got to put in the second. Like I haven't done that since the PlayStation 1 era Final Fantasy games.
It's my understanding that the extended edition of Lord of the Rings takes exactly as long as it would take to read the entire series out loud. So
Probably.
you got that going for you.
Maybe so. Yeah, I've been rewatching that. That's pretty good. I need to get. I got it. John Wick 2 had to be played last night. I had to interrupt my Lord of the Rings experience and watch John Wick 2 again because that movie's pretty good.
Are you gonna go see Atomic Blonde? Seen the trailers for that? Looks pretty good.
What is that?
Oh yeah.
That's the Charlize Theron like revenge gunfight punch kicking movie.
Okay, yeah. Atomic Blonde.
Atomic
I heard something else and I didn't know what the fuck you were saying. Yeah.
I just made it up. This is a movie I made up.
Yeah.
Just to see if you were on point.
Do they have
You
trailers
go see
for that?
Chromium Brunette. JP?
Do they have trailers out for that or is it just like
I saw
posters?
a trailer for it this weekend
Okay.
before the movie. But yeah, it looks pretty good. Charlize Theron's a badass.
Yeah. She looks great in it. I'm excited about that one.
for some reason I keep thinking of I thought Lucy is the other movie that comes to mind when it's got
Oof.
You didn't like Lucy at all?
Well, boy, no.
I thought Lucy was
I-
kind of cool.
So elements of it were cool, but I felt like Luc Besson just like watched Space Odyssey and was like, I kind of like some of this. Figure, fuck it, I'm gonna just make a movie that's kind of like this, and then did not a very good job of it.
Yeah.
But there were parts of it that were cool.
It was. I kind of like the end where she turns into a USB chip.
Right. Don't do weird
Spoilers.
drugs. You'll get turned into a peripheral, kids. That's
Yeah. That was
story
kind
of
of
that
odd.
film.
That was kind of odd. But yeah, if you haven't seen the other funny thing about Dunkirk, or not funny, interesting thing is there is one snippet, one like 10-second clip of blood in the entire movie. And apart from that, there's no blood. And the other thing is there's only one curse word, and apart from that, he only says fuck once. And I think it's PG-13. So it's like it's the most like not war movie that is the most war movie of all time.
Huh.
Yeah, I feel like not having any blood and no swearing in a World War II movie is so weird because I feel like if I was in World War II, there'd be a lot of swearing, like
Well,
just a lot.
that's
I
the
would
other
be
thing.
swearing constantly.
The amount of words said in the entire movie, I think they said the script was like 3 pages or something like that. Like there's very little dialogue in the movie. And a lot of it is just like people just like looking out into the sea and just being like, God, this fucking sucks. And you're like, God, that fucking sucks. And everyone's like, yeah, this really sucks. And you're just depressed the entire time.
I always feel weird about that when they do that. And this I think for me goes back as far as like Xena Warrior Princess on TV. But the idea when like somebody, especially somebody using a sword in a TV show or movie, it's like running around fighting people and just nobody seems to get cut with the sword.
Yeah.
It's like Wonder Woman was really bad for this, where it was like, okay, we gotta make this PG rated, so we can't have like Wonder Woman hacking off arms and stuff. But she just literally hit that dude in the chest with a sword, and there's no blood anywhere.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, people definitely die in the movie. There's no doubt about that. But they don't. It's not like people getting shot in the front and then you see their head explode from the the back, like that type of stuff.
Right.
But it's just a hell of a movie, man. I walked out. I saw it in 70mm too. That's the first time I've ever seen a 7mm film.
Yeah, it's about this tall and about a mile wide.
Yeah, it's a weird thing. A lot of people that saw it in the IMAX said it was too loud. That they were actually like, I think that most movies play at like 70 to 80 dB, and these were playing at like 110. And so for a movie that's like has incredible sound and gunshots are like the loudest thing, and there's a lot of gunshots. Anytime it would go off, like people were going to the movie with earplugs in because it was so fucking loud. So
Beware. Loud. Get used to it.
Yeah, be wary of that. But I don't know. I thought it was a great movie. Thought it was great. Dan, I'm curious. Do you watch, like, what do you watch when you're not streaming? Do you watch anything when you're not streaming, or you just watch Twitch?
I usually watch Twitch.
Okay.
I watch a lot of Hearthstone streams.
Yeah, I saw you tweet. You getting excited? There's a Hearthstone expansion coming, right?
Yeah, next month.
Yeah, I saw you tweeting out some cards earlier today. I didn't peg you as the big Hearthstone guy.
Yeah, I don't stream it. I play it by myself though. It's the one card game that's managed to get me to play. But yeah, like they're doing that thing where they release 1 or 2 cards a day, like every few hours until the expansion comes out. So that's what's been going on.
What's the theme of the next one?
Lich King finally.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Man, they're slow rolling it if they're just getting to Lich King.
That was their ace in the pocket if they ever needed to pull it out. The game's starting to slug a little bit. Here's the Lich King finally.
Is he a legendary? Can you get Arthas? The Lich King is a legendary.
They haven't announced it yet, but we can assume that probably he'll be a card. I'm sure.
Him and some Syndragosa and be ready to go.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All the bosses from the Ice Crown raid and WoW are going to be cards in the
oh really
expansion. So yeah.
Oh,
interesting.
I played a lot of Hearthstone. It was like back when Karazhan had come out, and before that, and I'd play and grind and I'd get up to like rank 2, and then I was just like, I can't handle it anymore.
Yeah, I don't. That's Hearthstone more than any other game that I've ever played. Gets me from 0 to 100 of rage just in like the 2 seconds. I just
you don't like
so hard.
You don't like getting hit in the face with a Pirate Warrior deck, and by turn 5 and it's game over because he's killed you already.
It just tilts me so hard. Like I've been on call with Day 9 saying like, hey, play this card, play that card, do that card, and then I play exactly what he says to do, and then he's like, oh, you're gonna die. I'm like, why do you play this game?
Sorry, he got lucky. You're screwed.
Yeah.
RNG won on his side and favored him. Like, great, okay. Fantastic.
Like every other month, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go for legendary this month, and every time you get to like anything above 5 rank, and it's such a huge grind, and I can never take it. I get tilted and have to quit.
5 to legend is brutal because you can get all the way up to like middle of 1, and then you start dropping back down, and it's the worst thing ever.
Yeah,
you have a lose streak.
That game's designed for like 50% win loss, right?
Yeah, you want to play decks for getting like a 60% win rate so that you start climbing, but you can have those periods where you have a losing streak and just lose a bunch in a row.
I'm not into it. Never again. I think the last time I played Hearthstone was for a sponsored stream. And then I went at TwitchCon last year and said, TwitchCon had just announced Twitch Prime, and they said that they were doing that, the like tier, whatever I wanted to say Melisandre, but that's Game of Thrones. Whatever the fuck. Tyrande, yeah. Card. And then I went on the Drop Frames panel at TwitchCon and said, fuck Hearthstone. So I don't think they're going to really come back to me anytime
Yeah, that's
soon.
not great advertisement, JP.
Yeah. So
isn't that like your favorite thing to do though? Is like talk shit about like Blizzard, particularly in like a public venue?
Yeah, kind of.
Love doing that.
But like I'm like I think I'm like the biggest the biggest fanboy in that way. Like I love their games so much that I feel entitled that I can just shit on them nonstop. Blizzard doesn't like that when it comes to advertising stuff. So Kind of sucks, but whatever.
I mean, I think that's a valid thing though. Like a lot of people assume that if you're criticizing something, you must hate it. But it's like if you really hate it, like you probably wouldn't even bother thinking about it, right? There's plenty of games that are too terrible to even think about. But if you're willing to like look at a game and be like, yeah, here's some stuff that sucks about it, that requires a certain level of investment. Right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You have to care about it at least for that.
I feel like Anne's that way about Rainbow Six. Now that I think about it, would you say that's correct, Anne?
Yeah, definitely.
Because anytime I watch Anne play Rainbow Six, she's a little upset, but she just continues playing. Just nonstop.
I know. It's like what's that thing called from Beauty and the Beast, where you're kidnapped by someone, but then you like fall in love with them?
Stockholm syndrome. Also, yeah, good reference. Beauty and the Beast, definitely a good example of Stockholm syndrome. I like that.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So I mean, I play that game constantly, and it's so fun when things go right. Like yesterday, I had a couple like really good plays that I was just like, I love this game when it works. But there's other times that you're just like, this is so broken.
Yeah,
And, it's like there's 4 people working on this game, and then they're trying to sell you like hundreds of dollars worth of crap.
Yeah.
Just like,
I feel that exact way about Dungeons and Dragons. Like exactly that way. I'm like, yep, there's a lot of stuff about this that I'm just like, why? Why is it like this? Like, what the actual fuck? But I keep playing it because I love it so much. And I'm just like, you know what? It's fine. We'll not do the parts that are bad. We'll do the other stuff. It's fine.
Now I'm curious, Ken. What's your Stockholm syndrome game? What do you play that you hate, but you can just keep playing?
Well, like I was saying earlier, it was Hearthstone, but then I finally just stopped being current with it. But a lot of my friends play League of Legends, and I'll go play with them.
Oh yeah.
And it's like sometimes it's 50 minutes of hell, and sometimes it's 20 minutes of we wrecked them. Man,
I think most MOBAs probably fit into that category.
Yeah, and like they're quite a bit better than I am at the game. Like I'm very amateur, and they play a lot, and so I go in and I'm going against guys that are on their level, and I'm just getting smashed, or maybe I get lucky, but I keep playing and I keep trying. But yeah, I get tilted in that game pretty bad.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
I was just say, at what point are we like just destroying our own mental stability here? Like, at what point do we need to be like, you know what? I love you, D&D, but like, we need to break the fuck up. Like, how much League of Legends can you take before you're like, well, this is hurting me as a person? Like, I'm a worse human being because of this.
I mean, I definitely stopped playing Overwatch because of that. Because like, I went into Overwatch streams of like 7 hours of just rage, and I'd have to go get, like, I ended up buying a punching bag during that stretch of time because I was so upset at the end of it. But yeah, I think you just ultimately quit it at the end of the day, if you can.
I have to like limit myself. I have to tell myself like I will only play at max 4 hours of Overwatch today, and even if I at the 4 hour mark am like I want to keep playing, I have to stop. Otherwise, I will be too mad. Like I had a couple streams that I was playing so much Overwatch, and I was so pissed after I would play like for 5 or 6 hours that I didn't even want to keep playing anything. Like I would stop playing Overwatch and be like, that's enough Overwatch. We still have like 2 hours of stream, but I hate video games and I don't want to play anything.
That's a horrible feeling, but it's so real. Totally.
You go back to it and you're just like, God, I really want to play Overwatch because I slept art that like Reinhardt the other day and it was fucking awesome. So you just like go back to it.
Dude,
constantly.
when I was on that top 500 grind in season 1, it was Jesus, man. Some of those streams I would end so upset, and then I'd wake up and be like, man, but I did get that 5 kill yesterday, and that felt really good. So let's do it all over again.
Yeah, Stockholm syndrome, pretty much perfectly described right there. Like, yeah, but maybe these terrorists, like, maybe they're not wrong. Like, maybe, God, that AK is pretty cool. Yeah, they make some good points. Maybe I do want to, destroy the Western world. That sounds great. You know what? Fuck it. I'm on board. Let's do this thing.
Stockholm syndrome has been like me and my YouTube channel for the past 6 years.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I understand that too. Yeah, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
And us for League, like we're all like, there'll be 5 of us in the group, and we'll start out talking all this shit and having a good time. But then when it gets to the point 5 games in, we're like blaming each other and mad at each other. That's the point where I'm like, all right. I want to go inside. See you later.
That was another rule for me during that. I don't know if Ann employs the same rule, but I don't play with people I know, because the second that I start getting upset, I'll direct that hatred towards the teammates, And if they're people that I know, it's just not a good time. Like that'll just end friendship. So I just don't do that.
And that's why we have chat. So we can just shout at them.
Yeah, it definitely becomes like the longer the stream, or it definitely became the longer the stream went, the more and more that I just yelled at chat for just like things that normally don't bother me when I'm not upset. So
I do yell at my chat quite a bit.
Well, and that relationship is so delicate too, because like what might be funny on one day when chat is like, you forgot to reload, now you're dead. One day you're like, yep, oops, that's on me. Another day you might be like, I will see you in hell.
Banned, fuck you.
Yeah.
Why do you fucking capitalize every letter?
Yeah.
Right. Like we just
It'll be like
the degree to which we are huge babies varies wildly depending on what's going on.
Yeah.
It'd be like a 1-year sub who's like, oh, you have to use ammo for Lucio's boobs, so you have to reload first. And I'm just like, you don't have any friends. You're just sitting here watching my.
Yeah. I did that. What was I playing? There was some guy who was like a 1-year sub, and he said something. I just got so fucking triggered and like went off. And then like 10 minutes passed, and I was like, hey man, if you're still here, I'm sorry. That was fucked up. I apologize. Like I've definitely done that on cast before.
I'm sorry, that was fucked up, but I'm still gonna come to your house and kill your dog. Like that's still gonna happen. That's for me though. It's not about you.
I've done the simplest things.
Yeah, I've definitely seen Dan with his chat rules as well, like during Darkest Dungeon, where he's getting a little bit upset before. So I think it just happens to everyone. I like Dan's rules though. They're good.
I have 4 simple rules when I'm very upset, and if you don't want to get banned, follow them. It's shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Like if you just follow those 4 rules in
good.
chat, you will not get banned. Because don't say things that'll trigger me, because I will fucking ban you no matter who you are.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
It is fun watching that, and I think this is something that the audience kind of like appreciates, like that line, watching it move slightly too, where it's like if you're doing okay and you're winning matches, your team's playing properly, you're like, cool, yeah, it's fine, haha, chat, yep, you're being kind of salty, whatever, but you start getting in on a losing streak and it's all bets are off. You're just like, what'd you say to me?
Yeah.
The fuck you say?
Yeah,
Alex.
exactly.
You always get like the chat. I always have it like the corner of my eye if I'm playing a game and somebody brand new will come in and I'll be at a part where I'm concentrating. I'm not really talking, and they'll be like, "Why doesn't Ken ever talk to the chat?" And I just have to like, stop what I'm doing. I'm like, "Motherfucker!
Yeah.
I don't ever come to streams. Banned."
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want me talking to you right now. I'm ignoring you for your own good. This is not about me. Just shush. I'm minimizing you for now, so that I don't hurt you with my words.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Dan looks upset right now. Goddamn right I am. Fucking get out of here, ban.
Or it's like your resting
4-year
face.
sub.
You're not even mad. They're like, "Why do you look so mad or so bored?" And I'm like, "We play games like this all the time."
That's the thing.
I'm here
That's
for
the thing.
5 hours. What do you want?
Yeah, that's the thing that comes up with role-playing games a lot too, where it's hard, and this is fair. Everybody's I'm paying attention face looks different. Some people, their I'm paying attention face looks like I want to kill you with my mind.
Right.
Other people, it's like their eyes are half closed and they're just kind of like zoned out. And if you don't know the person, we get a lot of like, what are they doing? Are they playing a game? Are they bored? What's happening? It's like, no, everybody's listen face looks a little different.
Yeah.
So you just got to get used to that.
The funny thing about that is when I started in esports, like after like 3 weeks, I very quickly manufactured a like I'm always interested face, and I've just kept that as much as possible. Yeah, it's that. So anytime you see me kind of doing that, it's manufactured, and I'm probably not paying attention. 100%. Yeah.
That's great. It's like when, I feel like I'll see sometimes that people who like practice their smile for social media, like Instagram and stuff.
Right, yeah.
And it's like you can tell because their smile is the exact same in every photo because they have practiced the like perfect smile that they know that they look good.
Yep.
And it's just this weird, like, kind of unnatural thing.
Yeah. I noticed at a very young age, whenever my mom does the same thing, but it's when she answers the phone and it's someone she doesn't know, her voice goes up. So I think I've always emulated that.
Hello?
Yeah. It's like, who the fuck are you? Why did your voice just go up a bunch of octaves?
I think I've seen this face.
Yeah.
Like every
totally
time
a
I've seen
thing.
you at a social event, you're like, "Oh, hey, Ken." And I'm like, now I'm gonna know that you're like, go the fuck away, kid.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
now
the
everyone knows
voice-
the secret. I'm revealing
the voice
too much.
thing the voice thing is totally true, especially like with streamers have a lot of them have a I'm thanking someone for resubscribing tone they use that's like completely incongruous to their normal voice.
Yep.
And I try super hard not to do that, but I know that it's an easy habit to get in if you're repeating yourself a lot, where you're just like, cool, I'm really enthusiastic, you're interrupting me, I was in the middle of something, but I'm stoked, thank you for your resubscription. And I can't muster like actual, I'm just gonna make the sound. And I have a dungeon master voice that I use, and I've used it in conversation with my friends. A friend of mine once called me out in the middle of a conversation where I started saying something. He's like, "Oh, don't you dungeon master voice me? You put that shit away. We're not playing D&D, Adam. We're just talking, and you can't pull that out. Like, nope, put that shit away."
Another funny thing to harken back to esports: if you go and watch any esports interview ever, the person doing the interview, if they're good at it, will nod their head almost every fucking like 5 or 6 words, because it implies that they understand what is happening, what is being said, when in their mind they're thinking, what the fuck am I about to say in the next 5 seconds? I need to know it. I got it. Okay, he's done talking. It's my turn now. Like there's very internal monologue.
The Office, when Dwight is like learning how to, and she's like keeps just never stop smiling and just like make eye contact and nod, and he just does this like all the time. Like, insane.
Yeah.
Talking about the DM stuff, I want to know, if we have enough time, how the wrestling thing went.
Oh yeah.
It went pretty good, I thought.
I had a great time. I'm always in search of games that play well on Twitch. Like there's no game that's ever been designed so far with an audience in mind. But Worldwide Wrestling actually has built into it the idea that you're playing characters who are also playing characters for an imaginary audience. But in our case, since we got to play for Twitch, we had a real audience. And that's the thing that I was paying a ton of attention to, was like watching the audience get really excited and like booing the heel and like getting really happy. And it felt a lot like in text form, having like a real audience around our imaginary wrestling match.
They cheer for anyone and get them put over.
Yeah. Well, and that was the thing, right? Is that we had announcers. One of the announcers died in the middle of a match. Died of fear.
He died of fear.
Well, because the rest of the match was so frightening. That he died. Yeah, he died of fear. It was really cool because like with D&D and with stuff like that, like the audience gets to interact by throwing up emotes in the channel, and like the same way you would with a game. But in Worldwide Wrestling, we're already acknowledging in the fiction that there's an audience, and so we can kind of let them sub in as that crowd. And I know everybody was paying attention to what the audience was, what our chat audience was saying, and that I think that added another level to it that was super fun.
Yeah, I think Blue Jay did a really good job too of interacting with the audience, and like when she wanted people to boo, she was very vocal in the chat saying like, "Hey, you guys should boo," and then chat would just boo for the next like 100 or so lines, and it was great. Like the audience reaction was definitely cool in that aspect. It was good to see.
Yeah, it was neat, and it made me excited about the idea of more tabletop designers making games that take into account like an audience. Like there's another game that I would love to try called Primetime Adventures, and PTA is an RPG about making a TV show. And it has a mechanism in it that is called fan mail. And between sessions, what you're supposed to do is, as a group, determine like fan mail. But with Twitch, we could have the audience like send in fan mail to decide who gets like spotlight in the next episode. We've done a little bit of that kind of thing with Mirror Shades, but I love the idea of getting Twitch involved as a specific that's built into the game, rather than like as an aside to it, just purely kind of passively watching.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. It's I like that game for sure. And it also uses 2d6 rule set, so it's pretty simple just to jump in and kind of understand what's going on.
It does some neat things with the narrative. Like it lets the players kind of go. Like once a match started, I didn't have to do a lot if I didn't have an NPC wrestling. I could just be like, cool, and then this happens, and then what do you do? Like I could just prompt instead of having to decide. So it was cool. I had a good time.
Yeah. Well, I think we're up with our 30 minutes. So if you want to make some rolls and kill me and Ann, because we're stealthing next to the tower right now,
totally. So if you remember from our last episode, you are like the warriors caught in enemy territory and trying to make your way home, though not to Coney Island. You're cut off from the army. Your unit is dead. You know that to the north there is a fortress that you can return to if you can get there safely. It's 14 days away from where you are now. Then the last time we saw you, you were in a village that had been kind of cleared of peaceful civilians. There's a lot of dead bodies, and there is a completely safe, totally non-hostile temple in the middle of the village, and there is some unusual chanting coming therefrom. If anyone had been able to do even reasonably well at a religion check, then we probably would know more about it. But for now, we're gonna see Daxa and Mop skulk up to the temple and go check it out. So I think, what do we say? It was like late or like end of the day.
Yeah, the sun's definitely going down. I think
Yeah, sun's going down. Yeah, we had some kind of golden hour lighting, and I think that's what we come in on, right? Is this establishing shot of the ruined village. Fire's still burning. Maybe some of the like grain supply of the village has been lit on fire. The stink of corpses, wild dogs from the surrounding lands have kind of come to scavenge the town. And over all of this, the sound of insects, right? The buzzing of mosquitoes, the kind of night insects that wake up as the sun goes down, and then this droning chant, this kind of unsettling atonal multi-voice chant. Coming from a stone temple in the center of town. Now, most of these little towns are built around some kind of stone structure, a shrine, a temple, something like that. This is a little walled area with a cobbled plaza around it, but it looks like it's been attacked, right? There's smoke pouring up from it, not from an active fire, but mostly like smoldering ruins. But it seems occupied. You can hear the chant coming from it, and Daxa and Mop, the two of you, are skulking towards the temple. I think that we see you kind of edge up to the corner of a wall and peer around it, and it doesn't seem like there's anyone kind of guarding the gate. There's a lowish, maybe 8 or 9 feet, not a big like defensive wall, but there's a lowish, unornamented wall that surrounds the temple proper. You can't see the temple from here. It looks like if there was a second story, it collapsed from the fire. But in the area, you can hear this droning, and it gets louder and louder. And I think that it comes up in the mix, and the soundtrack kind of fades out as we cue in on the two of you. Now, as far as you know, no one has heard you approach. And you can see the entrance, and the temple doors seem to be wide open from here, even though night is falling, and traditionally the temple would be closed. It's hard to see to which of the arcana the temple is consecrated. You'd have to get inside the walls, I think, to be able to tell that. So, what would you like to do? You can sneak in. You can climb the wall. You can approach the gate. It's a role-playing game. You can do whatever the fuck you want.
Mm-hmm.
How far out are we from the chanting, would you say?
I mean, you can hear it. It's inside the temple walls. Okay. Just over the wall. If you were to climb the wall and peer over, you could probably see the people who are doing the chanting.
Is climbing an acrobatics check?
Athletics, I believe. Acrobatics, if you want to do a cool parkour backflip up onto the wall. Either one. One is just showier than the other.
In terms of the temple, you said there's a wall, right? But there's windows to view in up on the actual wall?
No. The wall, the wall is it's a low, maybe 2 foot thick ancient stone wall. You can see the marks of weather all over the sides of it. It's just sort of crumbling in the way that many things in the Riverlands do. Like the Riverlands have a sort of impermanence to them because of the monsoon season, right? It washes away things, damages stone, what have you. It looks ancient, this ancient stone wall. It's not really meant to repel invaders or anything. It's just there to separate the inner sanctum of the temple from the outer world. And you could climb it relatively easily and peer over the top, but there's no walls.
Okay. So the perceived idea would be that if I climb this, I'm going to be able to see something else.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah. You'd be able to look into the. Okay,
then I think without mentioning anything to Daxa, my character, just goes from stealthing and like stands up abruptly and then just does a backflip onto the wall.
Nice. Yeah, a little back tuck and
Yeah,
up on top of the wall.
all 5'11", 300 pounds does a backflip.
Yeah, you have the grace of your training. Yeah, make an acrobatics check.
Please
Let's
don't
see
fucking
how-
go bad.
How smooth?
Hey,
you like doing
credit.
it? Oh shit! All right, this is some like wire fu, like crouching tiger, hidden dragon shit. Like you just rise into the air like a leaf on a warm summer breeze, carried aloft, as though it was as much in your nature to fly as it is to walk.
Great.
And you alight on top of the wall with perfect grace.
Okay.
I think that Daxa, you feel a single tear come unbidden to the corner of one eye and slide down your cheek in the hot summer night at this obvious evidence of grace and training.
If it were better circumstances, I would definitely wink my eye, but as I go to do so, I realize that I don't have an eye in my eyeball or in my eye socket. So I'm just kind of like, you just see the muscles kind of constrict.
Cool. Okay. Yeah. You squinch your horrendous wound around where your eye used to be.
Yeah.
But it's
Maybe
under
some
a
blood
bandage.
squirts out or something like that underneath the bandage.
Fantastic. Thank you for taking that beautiful scene and making it a little gruesome.
Exactly.
Thankfully, it's
Like-
dark enough that one sees that hideous effect. Yeah. Cool. All right, so you're on top of the wall. You can see from here that there were at one point 3 buildings that made up the inside of this temple. The whole temple grounds, if you were to measure them wall to wall, like from corner to corner, it's about 150 feet maybe square. There's a mostly collapsed building immediately to the north of you. Part of it has been burned by a fire that spread from the main temple building, which is on the west. That building is collapsed. You can see the broken and burned timbers. You can see the shale roof. It's all just like crumbled in. Somewhere in the rubble, you can see a fire blackened symbol of the sun, but it's been tipped over and covered in char. And then at the far end, there's just the like one wall and a bit of the roof of a collapsed temple building. There are a couple of tents set up in the northeast corner of the wall, ostensibly where these priests or monks are staying. And you can see there are two figures in the center of a ring of other figures. They're all wearing similar. At one point, these robes might have been white or off-white, ivory colored, but they're stained with blood and with the char of the wood that held up the temple at one point. Like they've been like digging at the remains. There's a pile of burnt bodies lying kind of off in the corner, like they've moved them away from where they're standing, and they're standing in kind of a clear area in the middle of the wall, and they're in a circle. There are 5 what look like sort of lesser disciples. They're on their knees. They're rubbing their hands together. Some of them have prayer beads in their hands, and they're chanting at a counterpoint to each other. And in the center, sitting kind of, or I guess kneeling face to face, you see 2. It's hard to tell much detail about them, like their gender from this distance, because they both have shaved heads and are wearing similar kind of gold robes. One has an orange sash, but again, they too covered in charcoal dust and blood dried on their robes, and they're kneeling and they're chanting a counterpoint to one another. I don't know anybody who's ever heard like Mongolian like throat singing, where they kind of do the back and forth thing. It's like that, and they all of them are composing this kind of ritual chant together. You can see them there from the edge of the wall. They're maybe like 80 to 100 feet from where you are. It doesn't look like they've seen you. They're very focused on their chanting.
Can I make a religion check, I guess, is the best one I could, to see if I understand what the chant is of?
Let's see. No, you already made a religion check on the chant.
Yeah.
But you can make another check for the new information, for looking at the temple, anything like that.
Right. Of religion still?
Yeah, it'd be a religion check for sure.
All right. Yeah, so I peer around the temple and kind of collect all the information and try to recall where I've seen it before with a fucking 2.
That's what you got last time.
Is it really?
No, this yeah, you got
Holy
a 2 the
shit,
last time
it
you
is
rolled.
what I got.
Yeah, this kind of ritual or whatever is unusual to you. This kind of rural temple, like it's clear to you that it's a temple that was at one point consecrated to the sun, but that sigil has fallen into fire and dust now. What they're doing and what this chant is, and whether it's like supernatural or simply cultural, it's hard to say.
Is it like possible for me to do like a performance check or something to if I recognize the music from somewhere?
I think that anything to do with this is a religion check. But because it is a song, I'd be happy to give you advantage on the roll.
Okay. I mean, I guess I may as well. I have no bonuses in that, but I may as well just try.
Yeah, it's better than anything.
Okay. Yeah, and you haven't made a religion check yet, so yeah.
Correct.
A 6. Okay. I mean, it's better than a 1. Yeah. All you know. So when you're not, I guess, I don't know. You can tell me. How well versed are you in like temple song and practice? Right. Like, is your music informed at all by the practices of priests or monks, or are you mostly a secular musician?
Yeah, more like cultural, like folk stories and like tales of battle and that kind of thing, not necessarily religious.
Yeah, this wouldn't make a very good song because it's maybe like 32 bars at most, and then it loops, and they just keep looping it. It definitely sounds like the kind of thing that you would sing to put yourself into a religious fugue state or something. It's not very entertaining. There's some interesting harmonics going on. There's more voices in the song than there are people present, which is pretty cool. But you have no idea what the purpose or intent of it is, except for it being kind of like I said before, like kind of hypnotic.
All right. Well, I'm up on top of this wall. I peer over. I don't understand anything what's going on or anything before me of what's actually happening or going on. So I think I'll hop down off the wall in front of Daxa, because Map is always kind of run from whatever he doesn't know, and turn and just say, "We should leave."
Are you quite sure? What if they know something?
I don't know if they know anything. I don't know anything of this. It's strange to me.
Did it look like they have a shower?
Of blood. And then my eyes wide open on my left.
Yeah, they look like they were a mess. But they are the only living humans you've seen that are not prisoners of the Necromancer King. So they're surviving or have survived by some method.
Well, when he said of blood, Daxa like clutches her clothes like really close, and it looks like very offended and kind of scared. And I'm ready to leave. I don't want to do anything with blood.
We should go meet with the others. Perhaps come back tomorrow if we're still around.
Don't have to tell me twice. And I like start walking away.
Okay. Yeah, I follow behind stealthily.
Okay. As you start to leave, as you climb down from the wall and begin to go away, you hear the ringing of a bell or brass like prayer bowl, and it rings 5 times, which we all know is an inauspicious number, and then stops, and the chanting suddenly ends. And it's like when a fridge turns off. Like you didn't really notice it when it was on, but now that it's off, there's like a weird hollowness to the buzzing of the insects. And you notice that maybe more intently than the sound itself.
Having grown up in the city, I'm used to the bustle of the city and the noise of the city, really. So this scares me even more than the chanting did. So I'm trying to get out of there as fast as possible.
Yeah, I think like without saying anything to each other, we like pick up our pace.
Yeah. It's like in the movies where they're about to blow something up and they're running away from the bomb faster now because it's about to blow up. That's what's happening.
Okay. All right.
So me and Dan are still at the entrance. We heard everything go quiet when we sent our friends in to check it out, right?
Yes. Yeah.
I'll look over to you. You think they've been captured?
Who?
Our friends that we just sent in.
What friends?
All right, well, let's wait. Let's wait a few minutes and maybe they'll come back.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So they I mean they return looking a little unsettled after a time.
We shouldn't be here. I don't know why the chanting stopped, but it wasn't because of us.
Oh. So no one saw you?
As far as I know. But I only have one eye.
That's true. Well, what did you see?
Monks
With your good eye.
chanting. Bodies covered in blood. I've never seen it before. I don't know what to make of it.
Yeah, me either. Well, you guys saw it, so what do you think that we should do? We should get out of here?
I turned to Daxa and turned back to Luther. I'm not sure there's anything to gain by being here.
I have no interest in being covered in blood. And it didn't look like they had a shower. Also, they're terrible singers.
Could you mimic the chanting for me? I might be able to think about if I've heard it before.
Ugh. This awful guttural sound. I will not use my vocal cords. And I like kind of do this, like if you're like a golden lamp or like crystal or something, to replicate such a terrible sound.
I'll make a performance check and try.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
17, not bad.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean you can do a relatively accurate establishment of the core.
It's a
sound.
It's a softer chant for sure.
Hearing the recreation of it as best as he can, then I try to do a religion check to see if I've heard of this before in the past or any type of it.
Sure.
And 14.
It's the best we've seen.
Have you ever been to a funeral before, Dim?
Yes. There at the college there often would be mages that fail at certain experiments or tests, and
sure, yeah, they bring some monks in to pray for. Okay, yeah. So this is definitely a funeral chant. You've heard bits and pieces of this before. Some of it is different from what you recognize, but these monks seem to be mourning the death of someone important, and they're praying for a swift reincarnation.
Have you ever had anyone die? It's basically they're singing funeral rites. At least that's what I think it is.
I've been around death, but never long enough to bury them. I've never heard it before. Is this a good omen? Do good people do this?
Someone close to them must have died, and I don't think monsters would bother with funerals and rites. They could be peaceful.
I mean, it is. That's a good point, Dim. Like, it is a sign of civilization, right? Like at the very least, if they're necromancer servants or they're worshippers of the Mara, they don't care if someone's soul gets reincarnated safely. They just there'd be no point. It would have to be a very elaborate trap. And given that you have the impression they've been doing this for some time, they probably don't even know that you're here.
Well, we can move on, but we don't have enough food to make it back to camp with what we have.
Yep.
Surely we can find something in the forest.
I mean, yeah, totally.
Can you? I don't.
I look out to the horizon. Do I just see kind of like the flames or the smoke of war in the distance on the horizon?
the whole farmland has been like badly pillaged by the Necromancer King for the last little while, and also I don't know if it would be that safe to eat food that you just found growing around here. Yeah, sketchy. But yeah, I mean, if these monks have been doing this a while, they have food and water.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
But
you said there were dogs. We could have dog meat.
There's a slaughtered lamb and such around here, but I don't know if the meat's any good anymore in this heat. Bellion, I mean, you seem to recognize and be familiar with this type of thing. What do you think we should do? Would you be willing to speak to them?
No, no, he will not speak.
Sir, I don't appreciate your. I'm very good at certain things, but conversations is not one of them.
See, even he agrees.
But I do think we should to talk to them a little. Just say hi.
It's your call, Commander.
Let's go talk to him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you hear the part where we said they're covered in blood?
Did you notice any weapons?
The thing about that is, like, you notice the part where they're covered in blood. We get a nice establishing shot of the four of you covered in blood.
Yeah.
Well,
maybe not you. You're the only one who isn't covered in blood. Yeah, your friends are. You look fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were hiding behind a tree.
Yeah.
I mean, we can move on to the next village and hopefully to find supplies and not more undead, or we can take the chance and talk to these guys and see if they have anything extra. Maybe they're friendly. If not, then we kill them.
Did we notice how many there were that we could see, or was it still like we could?
I saw 2 people chanting, right?
There were 7 total. 7 people total.
Oh.
Five like acolytes and then 2 priests, basically.
Okay. Okay.
Commander, you should lead. I motion my hand towards them.
Yeah, I can tell how bad you don't want to go in here.
Commander, you should lead us. Your armor is of a higher class than mine.
Not at all.
Maybe you should go first.
Only by one.
Don't make me hit you to prove my point. Yeah, so what do you want to... I mean, you can just stride up to the gate. The door's open.
All right. Mop, you don't want to go. Dexa, what do you think?
Well, there's no one else around, so we may as well speak to them. Perhaps, as the musician among us, I could reason with them on a artistic level.
That sounds good. Oh yeah. I think you're definitely. Well, I got to stay in character. Sorry, you'd probably definitely be better at talking to these people than me. And
I interrupt you and say,
well,
Commander, it's not that I don't want to go. It's that I'm fearful of things I don't know. But if you wish to go, then I follow.
I didn't take you for the kind of soldier to be scared.
I didn't say scared.
All right. Well, follow me.
He just implied it.
I'll start walking that direction. But you said there were dogs and such on the way, so maybe.
I mean, not really. Like they're scared. They're scared of you, right? Like the wild dogs. They'll scramble if you get anywhere near them. They're just here to pick over the corpses. Okay, so you head towards the gates of the temple, and as you come around the corner, you can see that the monks they're still in the midst of a ritual, but they're not chanting. So they're all kind of like. There's a ring of them, of the 5 of them, with their heads pressed to the floor, the blood-stained and ash-charred floor, and then the 2 monks that were sitting in the middle, facing each other. They seem to be just like hands put in front of them, and like silently praying. And they don't seem to have heard you or noticed you, or if they did, they're ignoring you in favor of whatever it is they're doing. You're standing maybe like from the gate, maybe 40 or 50 feet from them. They definitely should have heard you come around the corner.
Yeah. And they, I guess we can see their hands, and they seem to be human and not...
Yes, yeah, they're all humans. They're filthy, but they appear to be, humans.
All right. I'll step forward 10 more feet, and... Excuse me.
So one of the monks in the center, the acolytes keep their heads pressed to the ground, and you can actually hear that now that you're close to them. You can hear that they're like whispering slightly. One of the 2 monks stands up from a kneeling position, and turns. And you can see here that there are lying on the ground. There's a big bronze like prayer bowl. There's a wooden mallet for striking it. There's some other kind of accoutrement of ritual. And so they stand up and they turn to look at you. And it's a human monk, maybe like 5'7" or 8, wearing kind of voluminous robes that tighten at the wrists and ankles so that they can move. A kind of bronze or brass color, though it's hard to see all of this because the sun is going down, so it's getting dark quite quick. And shaved head, soot-stained face. You can see that there's like marks on their face where they have been, carrying burned objects and touched their face or something. They just look filthy. There's no seeming like ritual to the markings, but they are dirty. They turn and like cock their head to one side when they see you. What do you say?
Well, at this point, I'll motion for Daxa to come up.
So I kind of like stride forward slowly, and I say, "Good sirs, we did not mean to interrupt your ritual. Perhaps." And I kind of pause and I'm like waiting to see it. Like, do you speak common?
The monk nods slightly.
Okay, cool.
Very precise movement.
We are but weary travelers, searching for a safe place to spend the evening. As you can see, it is getting very dark. I heard your lovely chanting from very far away, and we thought perhaps you would let us stay in your village.
The monk takes a couple of steps towards you, moving in an almost like sort of floating way. Like there's a grace to the way that this monk moves that is like almost unnerving. Their eyes don't move from yours. Their head doesn't seem to move, but they somehow move towards you without like a bobbing at all. And they stop about 10 feet away from you and like look you up and down, look at your friends.
Do I know of any monk orders that do such a thing? That carry themselves such a way?
I mean, you can make a perception check if you want to.
23.
Okay. This monk's movements match a fighting style that I don't know if you've ever seen it, but it's called Sun's Rays Strike the Field, and it's a particular martial arts style that is taught to disciples of the Sun Temple. And this particular person is a fairly high-level practitioner of that style.
Okay.
So they're certainly capable of fighting. And they kind of glide towards you with this very very sort of gentle movement, and then stop and kind of like look over you, and say quietly to you, Dexa, "You're looking for safety." They have an accent that marks them as, and maybe, I don't know, the rest of you maybe don't notice this, but Daxa, you recognize it right away. Their accent marks them as someone who is not from the Riverlands. They grew up or learned common in the north, in the like urban areas of the Court of Swords, not down here.
Okay. So I kind of.
So you're looking for safety.
I kind of like nervously chuckle, like, aren't we all?
And the monk shakes their head and they say, "No, there is no safety any longer. The world has died. It just hasn't realized it yet. We are praying for its reincarnation. Perhaps you too are wandering ghosts, and all you need to do is give up your form and return to heaven."
Not quite ready for that, I don't think. But perhaps we could assist you in some way with your.
The other monks have stopped whatever they were doing and have started to like stand up and are all kind of like looking at you unblinkingly through filthy faces.
How big is this village? It's like 10 houses.
Yeah, the whole village is maybe like a dozen houses.
So I kind of like look at one of the seemingly abandoned things, and I'm like, would you mind if we perhaps stay the night in one of these many fine homes?
And he looks and he says, "Ghosts of the dead may haunt wherever they wish. It is our hope that they will be exorcised in time."
Yes.
Just kind of stares at you.
In good time, surely, but perhaps you shouldn't worry about dispatching with the young. And I'm like, Dax is kind of like middle-aged, like she wouldn't really be considered young, but she thinks she's young.
Yeah. And the monk kind of like cocks his head at you slightly, and you can see him kind of like squint their eyes, and then they say, "But wait, brothers and sisters, I think we have among us the living." And there's like some whispering, like, "What? No, that can't be possible." And the monk takes another step forward suddenly. And maybe you try to back away, or do you hold your ground?
He like startled me, but I didn't like actually back away.
You don't flinch or anything. Yeah, okay. So he's like right up close to you, and he smells like blood and ash and sweat. And he says, he says, "Are you and your friends alive?" Like looks at you with these like piercing brown eyes.
It feels like a very like 50-50.
Like, what do
Or
I
I
say?
think
Are we like
that happens.
wandering ghosts or?
Yeah. Are we alive? So I like repeat him. I'm like, oh, are we alive? Are any of us truly alive? You know, that's a very good question. Are you alive? I'm like very proud of myself for having like turned it around on him.
Right. And they turn to their companions and turn back to you and say, "Sadly, yes, we have not been granted the mercy of death. Though in time our chant will end. We will be called up to heaven like all the others."
Yes, sadly alive. Living is such pain. Yes, we sadly are also alive until death's sweet embrace.
When she turns around and gestures towards us, I would think that we're far enough away we can't really hear the conversation, right? Yeah, so I just.
I mean, you can kind of hear like murmurings and bits and
Okay.
pieces
Well,
whenever they get a little bit louder.
Yeah, not understanding the full conversation, I just have a deep bow of respect for a fellow monk.
Make a persuasion check. Let's see if you can sort of set the stage. Let's see if they like you or not.
Me?
Dexa. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant me.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
Dexa. We'll get that perception
Okay.
or a persuasion check from you.
Cool. Persuasion.
Oh.
I mean, you got a 10, so that's not
I can use my bardic inspiration for myself, can I? No.
right. So I think that the monk hasn't quite. Jury's still out, right? The monk looks at you and says, "We have seen so little of the quick in times of late. We thought we might be the only ones left alive before the black plague that spreads over the land. Are you emissaries from the kingdom of life? Tell me, do others yet live? Has the tide spread?"
The tide does spread, yes, but there are many still living. We have crossed paths with many of the sadly living.
And the priest nods and they say, "Shame that. Well, come inside." And gestures like into the temple.
Joy. I clap my hands, and then I turn to the others, and I'm just like, we can go inside now.
I've been up there with her this whole time, and I'm just like, wipe a little bit of sweat from my brow, and
They're still being very cryptic is the thing, so like maybe they're gonna try and kill us, but like
Yeah. I turn towards Belian and say, I don't think we're welcome.
Adam, are there like still bodies in the street, like lying around?
I wouldn't say entire bodies. What the Necromancer King didn't drag away to add to his army, the dogs have been at. So there's maybe like you look over and you can see like 2 dogs fighting over a jawbone or something.
So it would be kind
kind
of hard to tell what killed them if their bodies still there.
Yeah. And maybe that's what we see. That's our last shot before the break, right? Is Blind Dim kind of like looking over these 2 dogs fighting over some piece of human, and kind of like just shaking your head like, oh dear, before we fade to black and go to break.
Great. All right. We got 3 hours left to go here before the Necromancer King 2 shot concludes. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more. We'll see you then.